Another shortened week. We have racing on a Tuesday. That's when we get into our local fair, and that is at Fairview, where we're on the polytrack after another successful day for Mr. Richard Fourie in the saddle with three winners and then a couple of wins on Sunday at Hollywood Bettsgrable on the turf. So he's on 208, and I'm sure he'll be looking to go in to that 210s and even further by the end of racing on a Tuesday. So that is Fairview Racing. It is, of course, our Twitter handle, and that is, of course, X, formerly known as Twitter. And please try and get a hold of us, Daryl or Darren, on WhatsApp. I'm sure they are waiting to hear from you. And I know, and I think you've heard for yourselves, that Darren and Daryl are both the people who like to interact with people, and they put it out there. All right, so that is a Tuesday Racing. It is the 8-race program, so we'll be talking about the BIPOT. And the good news is that our expert for Port Elizabeth, that is Mr. Nino Podesta, he is standing by to give us the knowledge of his wisdom as far as all those exotics are concerned, the two jackpots, a BIPOT, a PA, and a Pick 6. So without further ado, let's have a look at the betting before we cross over to Nino. And it is in race number one, and number one just can't get enough, 22 to 10. Number three, Williams Legacy, that is at 5 to 2. Number two, King of Queens, is at 15 to 4 out from 7 to 2. 9 to 2, and a better bar those. Well, can't wait to say hello. It is Nino Podesta back with us. It's been a while. He has been doing his globe trotting, but we welcome him back to our shores and welcome him back on to Wait to Win. Good morning to you, Nino.
Good morning, Cecil. I'm back in Cape Town and eager to give my views on the card today. A bit of a tricky card, but we'll do our best.
Biggish Fields, and I do promise that I will not interrupt at all. Let's get straight into your picks for that BIPOT. Race number one is a Welcome to Nelson Mandela Bay maiden plate. It's over the 1,400 meters. And the favorite, as mentioned, the one just can't get enough, 22 to 10, after a very good run in the province, and that was on the poly when finishing 0.10 lengths behind a Horsefly. Is that good enough form to win? And can you tell us what your numbers are for that BIPOT?
Well, Cecil, actually, in the first race, I'm in the camp of number three, Williams Legacy. I like the fact that he's been brought back to the 1,400. I think he's a massive runner, and I've elected to banker him in my BIPOT. I do make 1 and 9 the biggest dangers. So selection is 3 from 9 and 1.
Thank you so much. Let's have a look at the entire BIPOT. It is an outlay of just 96 Rand, a bank at the 3, and that'll be the only bank. It is wide in leg number 2. 1, 3, 5, and 8 are the numbers. That's the widest leg. Venetian Moonlight at the 3, a Seaside Trip. The 5, that would be Keen on Kelly, and finally number 8, that is Kioka, who may go off as favorite. That is an off-timer to race number 1, the first of 8. Of 12:30, we're on the polytrack at Quebec at Fairview Racecourse. Well, the second race is appropriately named. It is now just over a week since we made that big move to 4racing.tv. Hopefully you're enjoying the new app. It is a maiden plate for fillies and mares over the 1,400 meters. Now, it is the familiar silks of Mr. Greg Blank with the regular partners of Mr. Gary Pierre, Daryl Uter, and Hilton Uter. And that is Kioka, who's one of the selections in that second leg of the BIPOT of Nino, who's come into 2 to 1 from 22 to 10. Number 1, a Venetian Moonlight, 5 to 1 out from 9 to 2, 11 to 2, about the 5, a Keen on Kelly, and then the 3, Seaside Trip, is at 13 to 2. It's not a race that has got too much exposed form for that first leg of the PA, but it looks like the Greg Blank colours are expected to be the ones that lead the moment, Nino.
Yes, another 1,400 on the poly, not a strong maiden, Cecil. And I do believe that number 8, Kioka, will be a massive runner. But my first choice in the race is number 3, Seaside Trip. Just pity about the drawn 11. If it was drawn any better, I think I would have gone for it in a big way. The blinkers, I think, did the damage last time when it behind a Flamboyant Flyer. The blinkers have been removed, and the form before that was quite strong form from Cape Town. So I'm 3 from 8. And then 1 and 5.
Okay, 3 from 8, and then a 1 and a 5. Those are the numbers we did see in that bipod, and they are the first leg of the PA. The banker comes right at the end, and that is a number 1 in a race, and number 8, number 1, being Labesfazana. That is a women's organization. Vaguely interpreted, and that is in the colors of the Hollywood. So that is an outlay of 192 Rand. 1358 you should get through that first leg of the PA. The off timer to that second is just after 1 o'clock. In fact, it is 1 o'clock rather than after 1 o'clock. Race 2 at now, remember to use our extra handle as well as our WhatsApp number to get in touch. It is racing, building up to the big one on the 6th of April at Termdien Racecourse. First ever World of Pools Day on the Highveld. We're in the Eastern Cape, Gqeberha, and it's racing on the Polytrack at Fairview Racecourse. Race 3 is the merit rated 66, which renders it our first handicap of the afternoon. 1600 meters is a trip, and the 3, Pedro, is at 22 to 1 from 2 to 1. Number 2 is a meet at the Windsor is at 5 to 1 out from 4 to 1. 6 to 1 is number 9, Schlante Math. And then a 7 to 1 and a better bar those. Now, I can tell you, Nino, you would remember that competition we used to have. Pedro once won me a competition. I remember when it had its win way back. I think it was on the 29th of May last year. And I had labeled it all day, and it won at a very good price. But seems holding form, and the last 2 seconds make it the favorite.
Yeah, Nick, I remember that day. I think it was a 1300 on the poly.
Yes, sir.
And he is my first choice. The problem is that I don't think he's won over 1600. I don't know if you can check that up.
Over the 1600 is one, actually. He is 1 and runs second from 5 starts.
Over 1600, okay. But it was, I think it was on the turf, the 1600. Anyway,
possibly.
I think he is the horse to beat, and he's my clear first choice. And but I've just backed him up with the Charioteer. I think the Charioteer will run a big race on Tuesday. And for me, 3 and 5. I've got 3 to beat the 5.
3 to beat the 5. That is also the first leg of the pick 6. And Nino backing up his confidence in the 3, Pedro, and the 5, the Charioteer. By the way, Pedro will be partnered by Ray Danielson for Tara Lang, whilst the Charioteer, the 5, that'll be Louis Mklotwa for the Sharon Cotson stable. And those familiar also breeder, Mr. Maynard, SJD Maynard. That's an off time of 13:35, 168 Rand. You can't get hurt in venturing, and of course, nothing to say you can't add where you think maybe Nino has gone light. But I think I know where all his loyalties lie. That is in race number 8. Once again, a banker in his pick 6. American 78 handicap is race number 4. It's off at 2:10 with that first leg of the first jackpot over the mile. Will the runners for race number 4 be running? And the favorite right now is number 9, a Legal Thriller. And that is at 3 to 1 out from 28 to 10. That's Richard Fourie for the Anarchiev stable. The second favorite is another Tara Lang charge, and that is Gunsmoke, who's certainly holding form 5 to 1. The Drifter, the 1 Yaspero, and the 3 Indie View all drift out from 13 to 2 to 7 to 1. Well, Gunsmoke looks alive wire bottom weight, and it is draw 4-8 Danielson, who's come back with a bang up to the Highveld. Where are your loyalties in a race number 4? I dare say number 9 Legal Thriller has to be one of your favorites.
No, I'm actually in the camp of number 12, Cecil. Gunsmoke, since he came to P, I don't think he's ever missed a place. He's earned a check every single run. And I think he's the horse to beat. Massive runner tomorrow. The horse that I think could give him a run for his money, and at that nice price, is number 5, Raising Quinn. Now, Raising Quinn, back over the 1600 on the poly, a course and distance that he loves. And you can see he beat Official Secret over course and distance. And we know what Official Secret has done since then. So for me, 5 and 12. And then in the pick 6, I've added number 3, Indie View. For people that want to add Legal Thriller, I think they should do that, because that combination is deadly at the moment. So they might have to add that. Remember, I did my selections on Sunday, and the racing is only on Tuesday. And also the punters have to just check for card chord changes and scratchings.
Indeed, check for card changes, scratchings, and of course, always keep abreast of the betting. Something might be working up a storm who doesn't come into the race with too much form. But as you see there, 3, 5, 12. And then if you want to add another, that would be number 9, Legal Thriller, the current favorite with Richard Fourie and Alan Crev in race number 4. 84 Rand, once again, it is not a perm that will put you in the poorhouse. And hopefully it does come through. But again, Sunday selections you can add on a Tuesday before racing commences. Yet, that Twitter handle doesn't change whatsoever, and the WhatsApp number is also there at your fingertips to get in touch with us, and of course your views as we go through the week of racing. Right, race number 5 is a play soccer 6, 10, and 13. It's a marriage rate 80 this time, and our longest trip so far is 4 race 5, the first leg of the second jackpot, 1900 meters. We've got 3 runners bracketed at 5 to 1 as your favorites. There are the 2 Central City. That is at 5 to 1. A Drifter, the 6 Painlight, who's gone out from 9 to 2 to 5 to 1, and also 5 to 1 is the 14 Alado's Pride. Well, another trappy looking race, 5 to 1, the field. And Nino, how would you say we even started to look at race number 5?
Yeah, Cecil, I think this is the hardest race on the card, and they're going to have to load up in the Pick 6. But I might have found a bit of a value for the people, and that is number 9, Magical Midlands. I quite like the look of this horse on Tuesday, Cecil. Last time he was put in the deep end in the feature behind Peace in the World, and if you had looked at that field, there was grazing in the grass. It was a very, very tough field, and I don't think it was disgraced running only 4 lengths behind Peace in the World. I think that's a runner. It is badly drawn at 13, but I think with Kumala, he can overcome the draw. So that's my first choice is number 9, Magical Midlands, from number 6, Play Night, and then I'm giving number 12, Nothing Else Matters, a chance. But in the Pick 6, I think I've loaded up.
Okay, you've loaded, but the 9 is certainly a good each-way selection there. And you have certainly loaded 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 12 in that opening leg of Jackpot 2. And just having a look at the trainer of the 9, Mr. Podesta, she's doing really, really well once again. She's third on the trainer's log in the Eastern Cape. And she's already saddled 40 winners. Obviously, Gavin is in front. Alan just close up behind. And then it is Miss Mitchley. So more power to her. And long may it continue. All right, so we've had a look at all these selections for all the exotics. We've covered all the exotics, and one standout was race number 8 in every exotic. It was a banker 1, so that's where we are going to head to, and that is Iqembu Labesifazana. That is Gavin Smith and Louis Mkoto are teaming up, and of course Louis and Gavin are always guys that team up, and it's usually a success at the end of that particular union. Louis has done very well teaming up with Gavin Smith. Gavin also throws him a bone with a lot of meat, so to speak. So that is race number 8. It is the next Fairview race meeting, Friday the 15th of March, Fillies the Mare 70. They're going over the 1300 meters, and we should be bringing the curtain down on racing at 20 minutes to 5. In the current betting for the 8th and final race of the afternoon, looking at that betting, Iqembu Labesifazana, race number 8, is only your second favorite, and that is at 5 to 1. The favorite is number 11, New Win Again, and that is appropriately to be partnered by Richard Fourie for Alan Crev, rather, and that is at 21 to 10 from a 2 to 1. 5 to 1, numbers 1, Iqembu Labesifazana, and the 9, Global Goddess. Now, you are sold on a number 1, Iqembu Labesifazana, which is admirable. We always like people to go for value rather than the obvious ones. Tell us your thought process behind making this the standout in race 8.
Well, Nika, I just like the Cecil. I just like the way the horse is coming back to the 1300. 4 runs back over course and distance at 1. Then it ran behind Groove Eyes, and then it beat Miami Beach. Last time it was given Colorama, I think 8.5 kilos, and only ran 3 lengths behind it. The 11, the favourite, hasn't run on the poly yet, and that's why I'm strong in the camp of number 1. I think that's the horse to beat. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you probably can help me.
Right, it is Iqembu Labesifazana, which means a women's organization, you know, like a women's club or a ladies' charity organization or whatever, but it's a gathering of women. Iqembu Labesifazana.
Oh, well, that's, well, we'll go with the women.
No, you just say number one and raise 8, and we've got you, Nino. But no, we hope that we can jump on early to that 5-1 because you've made a good case of 4 and the right man in the saddle. And as I was saying, Gavin and Louis seem to team up to good effect. Whenever Louis gets a ride from Gavin, you know that they mean business.